La última, the final story, and a very important one. In English, we have a phrase that says, the early bird catches the worm. Do you have that? Yeah. The early bird catches the worm? I mean, I just feel for the worm, right? It's like the worm is going, oh, I'm really hungry and I'm up really early and I'm going to go out and eat some stuff. I don't really know what worms eat, probably mud or other worms. And anyway, the worm kind of gets up really early and before everybody else, and he's up there above ground and he gets eaten by some bird. I mean, that's sad, right? It's just a sad story. The early bird catches the worm, yeah? In other cultures and languages, he who gets up earliest gets the gold, is one that I've heard many times. And this is very, very true in sales. In sales, there are two different types of sales process. The perfect world is where we have a very strong relationship to the customer. And very often, the ideal customers are customers who you have sold something to in the past. And by doing this, you sell something else to them again in the future. Yeah? You have a strong relationship to them. You know their business, you know their environment, you know their situation, you know their people, you understand their products, their politics. All of these things in steps 1 and steps 2 that we've spoken about so much and as being so important, they are very much the reason why long-lasting relationships are long-lasting. Yeah? Because we have the respect, credibility and trust, etc. Then we have the real world. Yeah? And the real world is very often the world where we get a telephone call from somebody who says, can you send me a proposal for the following solution that we're looking for? And this is the reactive world. We're looking here very much at reactive sales and proactive sales. And so here's a little story behind something to just kind of hammer home this point and its importance. Here's the customer. Yeah? The customer has been speaking to his sales rep from provider A. Now together, they've got a relationship that goes back 4 or 5 months now. Together, they have spoken about the customer's situation and problem, and they have defined, they've built an idea together, or the sales rep has shown the customer some ideas of products and services that would solve the customer's problem. The customer's really happy with this, and he says, no, this is great. I can see how these products and services are going to solve my problems. Yeah? So he goes to his boss and he says, boss, I've got it. We're going to go with provider A. And his boss says, good, well done, fantastic, good. The customer says, can I have the money? And he says, no, you can't have the money. First, before I give you the money and allow you to marry my daughter, in the ideal world, depending on the daughter, of course, but it's a different story. Before I give you the money, make sure that you're getting the right solution. So the sales rep, the customer goes back to his sales rep and he says, my boss has asked me to make sure I'm getting the right solution. How do I do this? And the sales rep says, well, you need to write down what you need and then send it to a couple of other companies to get some other proposals. And the customer says, right, okay, yeah, okay, I see what I need to do. And the sales rep says, but, because you're my valued customer, I have written this list down for you. Maybe you can use it. And the sales rep gives the customer a sheet of paper, and on this sheet of paper is written a complete list of everything that the customer needs. The customer says, oh, that's great, yeah, exactly. Do you mind if I have this? No, of course. Yeah, but I'll have to take your logo off it and put my logo on it. Of course, that's what, I am your friend. And the customer says, hey, that's great. So the customer takes it, and he takes their logo off it, puts his own logo on it. He writes a little bit at the front to prove to his boss that he's actually done the work. Yeah, and very often, of course, he will do a lot of the work. Yeah, and he sends it out. He sends it to provider B and provider C. Yeah, provider B and C get this. They receive it in the mail. They open the envelope. Yeah, and provider C says, oh, great, a brilliant opportunity from a really important customer. That's fantastic. Somebody else says, okay, can we do what they ask for? And they say, well, almost. Not completely, but almost. We're very close, yeah? Because this, the vendor A has written this list. What do you think? He's stupid? He's written the list in a way that nobody else can respond to it properly, yeah? Or nobody can respond to it in this particular way, yeah? But anyway, provider B is really excited about it, and they say, okay, great, we're going to respond to this because this is really good. We've got a really good sense of winning this. But provider C receives it, and they open the envelope, and there's an experienced sales rep in provider C. So what he does is, before he takes the proposal out of the envelope or the request out of the envelope, he smells it. He says, yeah, I can smell the competition. Yeah? And sure enough, in the industry, yeah, you can smell the competition coming off these things. Of course, because they are written by organizations who help their clients to write these things up. In governments, sales organizations help their government customers write tenders and requests for proposals that really fit business needs. In private industry, I help my customers write up a list of requirements for a particular business solution so that they can get other offers from it. Yeah? Let's be in no doubt here. The customer has got an important job. They must evaluate their options. You looked at the cars, right? You looked at the different cars. It's your job as a customer to evaluate the options successfully. Yeah, that's your job. And if I've got a sales rep who is helping me evaluate those options, then that's good for me, because they are saving me from doing some work. Yeah? The principle is this. In all important opportunities, there is always one sales organization who is there the first. There's always one sales organization who does most of the part of the sales process. They do the beginning, they have the relationship, they understand the people. They've got good products and services, and they build the buying vision with the customer. Do you know the percentages of how often these companies win the deal?
75.
75, yeah? It could be 75, it could be 70, it could be 85. Some people will even go as far and say it's 95. Whatever. It's the majority. It's a big majority of these organizations will end up by winning the business. Yeah? Which means these guys have got a 15% chance of winning. No, because there's 2 of them or 3 of them or even 4 of them. They've got a very minimal chance of winning the deal. And the principle is, if these guys want to stand a chance of winning the deal, they need to significantly change the buying idea. They need to change it. They need to show value where the client has just not thought of value existing in the first place. They need to show price differentiation where the customer hasn't even thought there could be price differentiation. They need to show products and services with good stuff and exclusive benefits that the customer says, yeah, I need that too. That's really important to me, so that it literally forces them or invites them to go back in the sales process and re-describe and reinvent the vision and the buying idea with a new provider. Yeah? And that's why it's so difficult, right? Because it's very difficult to get a customer who is happy with their provider to now change their decision and to choose somebody else. The early bird catches the worm.